Hello. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today our topic is speciation. So, the first question is, what is speciation? As we see that when we read a speciation, a word specie enlighten in our mind. Then first I'll introduce you a specie. Ernst Mayr in 1942 introduced biological specie concept. According to him, species are groups of actually or potentially interbreeding populations that are reproductively isolated from other such groups. But we have some problems with this concept that are difficult to apply on fossils such as trilobite which appear in a Cambrian period. We discuss on it briefly later on other video. The second one is asexually reproductive organisms such as bacteria. So, what is speciation? Speciation simply a creation of a new species from ancestor population. Speciation mainly depends upon a disruption of gene flow evolution of reproductive isolated mechanism by the biological view of speciation. The orator F. Crook in 1906 introduced cladogenesis and anagenesis. Then, Charles Darwin in 1859 introduced natural selection in his book The Origin of Species. Mainly speciation is caused by a natural selection, genetic drift, migration, chromosomal mutation, natural causes, reduction of gene flow. There are four modes of speciation. First of all, the allopatric speciation. In this, too, population is separated by some geographical barrier. The geographical barriers are mountains, rivers, flood, deserts, etc. Second is the parapatric. It is the sub-form of allopatric speciation. In this, population are geographically isolated but are not reproductive isolated. They are able to exchange genes with each other. The third is the parapatric speciation. In this, no geographical barrier but population are separated by a hybrid zone. The last one is sympatric speciation. It's not done by any barrier, it's created by the translation or inaccurately separation of chromosomes during meiosis. It forms a polyploidy. Next we discuss about the barriers which arise speciation. It has two types. Pre-reproductive barrier. In this, obstacles in mating such as a geographical barrier in this species occurs in different areas due to some geographical barrier. As we, these species of S. coriales are separated by a mountain between them. Then a ecological isolation. In this species occupied a same region but different habitat. As we see a garter snake on left side, both are same species but one lived in terrestrial and other one in the water. Temporal isolation. In this, a same species but they can breed in different seasons. In a picture, the left one is eastern spotted skunk that mate in late winter and eastern spotted skunk mate in late summer. Then a behavioral isolation. In this, the species have some behavioral patterns to attract mates for interbreeding. Mechanical isolation. In this type of barrier, the reproductive parts of morphologically different that prevent successful mating. Then the last one in the pre-reproductive isolation is gametic isolation. In this, the female reproductive tract isn't able to fuse with egg and forms an embryo. Then we have a post-reproductive barriers. In this, fertilization occur but the hybrids sometimes are not fertile. First of all, reduced hybrid viability. In this phenomenon, the two different parent species interact but embryo doesn't goes to the proper development in the embryonic stage. Then, reduced hybrid fertility. The hybrid may form with a fully development but there is a difference in the number of genes in the hybrid. That's why they are sterile and don't even reproduce their own offsprings. As we see that if horse and donkey interbreed, we have mule with 63 chromosomes instead of 64 or 62. Then the third one is hybrid breakdown. In the hybrid breakdown, the first generation are fertile but the next generation offsprings are sterile. As we see this in the cultivated rice crops, the phenomenon of rate of evolution is applicable there. We have a gradualism. In this, one species gradually convert into another species in many interbreeding forms. Then we have a punctuated equilibrium. In this rapid burst of change after a many long time, even a years, periods or era. It's very common in island where a food availability or weather is different. At last, evolution is not a goal-oriented. It doesn't mean survived species are perfect and doesn't change more in certain time. Evolution is survival of good enough. If you have any question, then put it in a comment box. And also for a new topics, PDF document link are available in the description. Must subscribe the channel, like and share the video with your friends. Thank you.